On the other hand, Leoni considered that this is not the correct way of approach to law or to legal phenomenon. Leoni considered that law have to be understanding in how people behave toward the norm, but he proposed to go far from the study of the norm. In that sense, as I mentioned just before, empirism is the methodology that he proposed to understand how legal systems work. This leads to the third point I would like to mention this morning, which is how legal systems work. Combining the first two aspects, I mean, empirism as a way of understanding law and will and human intention as the core or the initial point or the starting point of legal science, he considers, Leoni considers that legal system is a network of interactions of human beings in constant evolution, which can be understood in a constant process of learning as a result of the knowledge that each person acquires of other claims. I mean, I have a claim, you have a claim, I understand, I have knowledge of your claim, you have knowledge of my claim, and in a kind of cooperational system, we are developing legal idea or legal system, or we are developing law. These are the three main topics. I mean, these are the three main points that can be considered in Leoni legal thinking. Now I would like to refer to the second part, which I think is where we can find the most important, the most interesting contribution to Leoni legal theory. Leoni can be considered one of the continental or Romanist thinkers that contribute to develop evolutionism in legal ideas. I mean, it's not strange, or I mean, it could be easy to find philosophers of legal thinkers in common law tradition talking about law, or people who understand that evolutionism can be easily seen in common law, or yes, in common law legal system. I mean, you know, either American or England legal system. But it is not so easy to find philosophers or legal thinkers, legal scientists that can be applied of evolutionism or evolutionary legal ideas to law. In Leoni, we can find this kind of approach. Why? Well, he tried when he wrote Freedom and the Law, which is a book, which is his book in which he makes his proposal about how you have to define legal system and how you have to study legal system. He makes a lot of reference about Roman law, Roman tradition. But this is very obvious for people who understand legal system in continental legal terms. But he also has in mind medievalist jurists. And why is that? Because in medieval times, medieval jurists could adapt law, Roman law, to their particular legal system in medieval cities. Leoni knew this very well, and he saw that this is the way that law have to be prevail in modern times. If you try to understand law in terms of norms, you forget what is the main idea of law, which is allow people to cooperate in different kind of organizations. There are two basic contributions. I mean, there are two basic sources that Leoni considers in order to adapt this theory. The first one is the German historical school, Doubtless to say that Leoni has been influenced from Savigny and Yering. It is, they quote quite a lot, not in his book, but in some of the papers published in Il Politico. And the other source, important source, is what we call the glossator, or los glosadores. Particularly important medieval jurists that, as I mentioned before, what they do is to put legal ideas into practice, I mean Roman legal ideas, Roman abstract ideas, into particular issues raised in medieval times. This process of adaptation allows law to evolve from Roman law to medieval times and from medieval time to modern time. I think that the idea that Leoni had in mind when he wrote his books is that we have to keep law alive, not just as an object of study, an abstract object of study as dogmatism or legal positivism, but as a live thing that we are practicing every day. All things considered, I think that main participation of Leoni can be seen as a legal theorist who brought evolutionism and particularly a different kind of understand how law adapt and how law evolve towards time in continental legal tradition terms. Well, thank you very much.